it's Mandy from Designer Chameleon. Today I'm going to be setting up my journal for January 2021. It almost seems impossible, but I know you guys are all feeling the same thing. I'm going to be using a boho theme, which was voted on by my patrons over on Patreon. It's kind of a watercolor boho soft look. There's a main sheet, a header sheet, and a days sheet. And then I also have coordinating sheets with extra mandalas and just some watercolor looks to complete the setup if you need extra things for your dailies. So let's go ahead and jump in. I always like to start the month with a calendar page. This calendar is a printable for my patrons. It's just a nice simple boho moon with some watercolor flowers and a little script over the top for the month of January. I like how it turned out. I think it's pretty cute, and just to make it look a little bit more arranged on the page and a little bit more intentional, I'm going to grab some of my washi tape and give it some borders at the top and at the bottom. I've really been looking for ways to use my washi tape more. I have a decent collection of it, although I'm definitely on the hunt for more. I love simple patterns and simple colors, kind of washes instead of solids. I have my solids kind of on lock. So if you have any recommendations, please feel free to drop them in the comments. I did place a pretty decent sized order for washi tape at the washi tape shop last night, but that doesn't mean my collection is full by any means. I don't actually remember where I got the washi tape that I'm using in this spread. That's one thing that always bugs me about washi tapes is if you don't keep the packaging, which I don't think any of us really do, they're not labeled. Like if they were labeled somehow on the inside of the ring, that would make it really nice to remember where you bought something if you want to purchase it again. But I can also understand that that would be really tricky to mark them. So if anyone has any good suggestions on how to label your washi tapes so that you remember where you bought them, you can drop those in the comments too, because I definitely struggle with that. I think a little bit of the metallic mixed with that purple that brings in the flowers and also those additional soft pastels kind of bring everything together and make it a super quick and easy way to welcome January. Next, I'm going to go ahead and set up a few currently pages so that I can capture what I'm really focused on in each month for the year. I'm also realizing that I need a new ruler because the ends of this one are completely bent. I had forgotten that from the last time I used it, and when I grabbed it, I forgot. So on the hunt for a new ruler. I also want to get a lot better at just drawing straight lines without a ruler. That is absolutely a skill that some people are great at, and I know that it takes practice. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of focusing on being a little bit more patient so that I can learn how to draw these lines without having to have my ruler in hand, which also can smudge your ink from your pens sometimes, which is really frustrating. I'm sure you've done it. I know I've done it so many times. I do like doing hand lettering, but for something that I know I'm going to be repeating month after month, it's always easier to just grab a sticker and have that part done for you. Then you can focus on the layout and the design and all of the other fun things. Another thing I want to get a little bit better at and try to do more is layering. I've never really been someone to do a lot of layering with my designs and my stickers, and every time I see someone else that does, I find myself gravitating towards that look. I think it's just gorgeous, and I've been trying to figure out common denominators, and I think it's really the layering. So that's something else I'm going to focus on trying to do more of in 2021. Most months I've found that I don't use all of the different currently prompts on my currently sheets, but for January I decided that I am absolutely going to use all of them. At least to start off the year, I think it's important to get everything out there. I might not keep that up for the entire year, although I'd like to think I will, but we'll see. And the other thing with this spread that I was thinking about is keeping it at least simple enough with the black boxes. I went back and forth, and for a while I was thinking that I was going to do like a teal, but then I remembered that I'm probably going to be using teal ink with my fountain pen, and that would be teal overload. So I went with the black just to keep it nice and clean and simple. Adding a few extra mandalas across the top of the page gives it a little bit of balance, and then I'm going to jump right back in with my washi tape to give it that border at the bottom to make all of the different pages more cohesive and look like they belong together. This also gives me a chance to bring in a little bit more of that layering effect that I've recently decided is something that I've been missing and really wanting more of in my spreads. I guess maybe it's the dimension that's drawing me to it. I don't know, but I'm always trying to look for something new to make my spreads look a little bit different and keep me engaged. When I first drew up this boho theme, I really wasn't sure how I was going to like it. Boho just isn't a theme that I've ever really gotten into or looked up much, but the further I got with it, the more I fell in love. And I think that these light pastel, soothing colors are a perfect way to enter into a new year, especially after this interesting roller coaster of 2020. Something else I've been thinking about a lot lately is the different tools that I use when I'm putting together spreads. And these little tweezers that I bought recently have been a new favorite tool. I'm thinking about doing a video of my favorite planning tools for journals and for planners, different sticky items like tapes and glues, different markers, of course, these tweezers that I've been using from time to time, things like that. Paper clips, anything that I'm finding super helpful. If there's any items that you find super helpful that you think that I should definitely add to that list before I shoot the video, I'd love to hear from you. I know that there are a lot of different ideas out there and different techniques that people use when they're trying to lay out pages, so there's always something new to check out. With my currently pages all set up, it's time for me to go ahead and focus on the very first week of January. I decided to go with a layout that will allow me to have 4 days on each side. Now, I think you're immediately going to recognize that that makes 8 days for this spread and there are only 7 days in a week. But that's fine. I'm actually not doing a traditional weekly layout. My plan for this journal is really a little bit more introspective than it is for planning purposes. So I'm going to be using these pages to every day write in a quote, a memory, something that's important to me a little bit more emotionally than related to what I need to get done for that day. If you watched the video I did recently for my planner lineup, I'll try to make sure to add a link for you here if you haven't seen it. I'm going to be using traditional planners, Happy Planner specifically, for some of my more task-oriented things. I found over the past couple of years, having used strictly a bullet journal for I think about 3 years, and then moving into planners for a year, I found that I need both. They both have really good places in my life, and I feel like if I go with only one, I miss the other. So if I can offer you any suggestion with any of my videos, it's don't feel like you need to be trapped in any one thing. These are for you. They're to help you be productive, to help you with your memories, to help you with your journaling, your mindfulness. So whatever works for you, go for it. Having both journal and planner also gives me the opportunity to be extra creative because you decorate them both differently. So I get to try a lot of new things, which for me is really fun. For some people that might be overwhelming, and again, that's completely okay, but if I'm gonna, be a broken record, it's about what works for you. Now that I have the basics all filled in with the days and the dates, it's time to add in just a little bit more color and a little bit more accent. These mini mandalas are going to be perfect for pulling that off, just making each day look a touch more special. And that's one of the things that I love the most about this setup. It's got a lot of different colors, but it's not overwhelming. So it's a simple, quick setup that really anyone could pull off if that's the kind of look that you were going for. Especially if you're someone like me that wants to bring in color with your ink, keeping the background a little bit more simple is important. If you're curious, this is my Platinum Kampu. It is a beautiful teal pen, and I have Vert Reseda from Urban Ink, which of course my accent on all of these things is horrible, but you can see that that pretty teal ink goes perfectly with all of the black in the backgrounds. So I think it's all going to come together really nicely for me. To start off the year, I hope that you'll give this video a like and subscribe and come back next time to see the next pages that I set up. Bye-bye.